Welcome back and prepare to be bedazzled because today we're going to be shedding light on the reasons appertaining to why employees are rage applying to other jobs. So why do employees resort to rage applying to other jobs without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination? Allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. There are a multitude of reasons as to why employees succumb to rage applying to other jobs that extend beyond the ambit of them being quiet hired by their real private sector employers to fulfill the job duties of other positions at the employer's workplace without being furnished with any additional remuneration for fulfilling the job duties of multiple positions at the employer's workplace. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, much to my irritation, most real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand are not only deemed to be dead-end, highly time-consuming, debilitating, minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched, ineffably agonizing jobs that not only drain almost all of your sacrosanct time and that do not pay you anything close to even 1/4 of a subsistence wage for affording housing, but are also jobs that induce chronic stress, chronic fatigue, chronic burnout, and undermine well-being and poor health. Furthermore, most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand dispossess employees of almost all their waking hours, provide them with minimal remuneration at a minimum wage, and do not provide them with any income-generating assets, benefits, nor pension. Most companies can afford to pay their employees a livable wage, but choose to forego doing so since they are keen on minimizing their labor costs at all costs. In most contexts, almost all the profits that a company generates are entirely reserved for the executives and the shareholders. Real private sector employees may be rage applying to other real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand for the prospect of attaining jobs that offer them a higher hourly wage. When people have more remuneration, it can allow them to elevate their standard of living. Another reason as to why real private sector employees are rage applying to other real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand is attributable to the fact that real private sector employees prefer to work jobs that offer them a flexible work schedule. Lamentably, not every real private sector job based on voluntary demand furnishes employees with latitude for a flexible work schedule. Another reason as to why real private sector employees are rage applying to other real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand is attributable to the fact that they prefer to attain real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand that offer them better work conditions. Most real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand offer egregiously abysmal work conditions that render it all the more cumbersome to sustain working a real private sector job based on voluntary demand for a prolonged period of time. Another reason as to why real private sector employees are rage applying to other real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand is attributable to the fact that most real private sector employees prefer to work remotely and are keen on availing themselves of an opportunity to work remotely. Lamentably, most real private sector employers bar their real private sector employees from pursuing the real private sector employee job based on voluntary demand remotely, even in contexts in which the real private sector job based on voluntary demand can be entirely performed remotely. Another reason appertaining to why real private sector employees are rage applying to other real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand is attributable to the fact that they detest and disdain being micromanaged and therefore would prefer to find a job in which they are not micromanaged by punctilious managers who needlessly hound them over the minutiae. The myriad of reasons as to why real private sector employees are rage applying to other real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand are eminently extensive and are not limited to the aforementioned reasons. I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, enthralling, engrossing, and insightful. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.